Welcome to today's episode, where we're diving into the mysterious world of thermography and heat maps. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie behind those colorful images?
Absolutely. Heat maps always look so futuristic, but there's more to them than meets the eye. They're used everywhere, from medicine to sports analytics. But what's really going on behind the scenes?
That's a good point. Most people think of thermography as just a fancy way to visualize temperature, but it's evolved way beyond that. Did you know it can actually detect issues in buildings, like hidden leaks and insulation problems?
I've heard about that. It's like having X-ray vision for your house. But I'm curious, how reliable are these thermographic readings? Aren't there factors that can mess with the accuracy?
Definitely. Things like sunlight, weather conditions, or even the angle of the camera can affect results. It's not as straightforward as pointing and shooting. Sometimes misinterpretation can lead to expensive mistakes.
That's wild. I guess it's not so different from reading tea leaves, but with more technology involved. But why do you think there's talk about a hidden agenda in thermography?
The term hidden agenda sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But I think it points to how thermography data can be selectively used. For instance, in marketing, companies might highlight certain results to sell their products or services.
So it's like showing only the flattering side of a story. I suppose in medical fields that could be risky if someone relies too much on heat maps. Could they miss an important diagnosis?
That's a real concern. Thermography is sometimes marketed as a magic bullet, especially for things like breast cancer screening, but it's not always as accurate as traditional methods like mammography.
That's a bit scary. People might skip essential tests, thinking thermography alone is enough. It reminds me of those diet fads, promising quick fixes, but missing the big picture.
Exactly. There's also the issue of privacy. With smart homes and surveillance, thermal cameras can track people's movements without them even realizing it.
Wait, really? So not only do these cameras see heat, but they can also follow you around your own house? That's next-level privacy invasion.
For sure. Some security systems use thermal imaging to detect intruders, but if misused, they could monitor residents too. It's a double-edged sword, security versus privacy.
That's a dilemma we see with so much modern tech. The more helpful it is, the more ways it could be misused. Do you think there are enough regulations around thermography?
Regulations exist in certain sectors like healthcare, but in consumer tech, not so much. It's a bit like the Wild West. Lots of innovation, but not always clear rules.
I wonder if most people even realize how much thermography touches their daily lives. It's in everything from weather forecasts to checking how crispy your pizza is.
That's a delicious example. And you're right, it's become almost invisible. Sometimes the most powerful technologies are the ones we don't notice.
It's funny because when people see a heat map, they probably think it's super scientific. But without context, those colors can be misleading.
Absolutely. Red doesn't always mean danger, and blue isn't always safe. It all depends on how the data is interpreted. That's why training is so important.
Speaking of training, do you think there's a risk that as thermography becomes more accessible, people might misuse it? Kind of like when everyone became an expert with WebMD.
That's already happening. DIY thermography devices are cheap and easy to use, but interpreting the results is tricky. A little knowledge can be dangerous.
I can imagine someone pointing a thermal camera at their pet and panicking over a hotspot that's just a warm blanket. But in all seriousness, the potential for panic and misinformation is real.
Exactly. That's why experts stress the importance of context and professional interpretation. Otherwise, you could end up solving problems that don't exist or missing ones that do.
It's amazing how something as simple as a color gradient can spark so much debate. Have you seen any cool or unusual uses of thermography yourself?
Actually, yes, I saw a project where scientists used thermal cameras to track animals in the wild. They could spot nocturnal creatures without disturbing them.
That's so cool. It's like giving wildlife researchers superpowers. But again, there's that privacy concern. Imagine if people used that tech to track each other.
It's a slippery slope. But on the creative side, artists have started using thermography to create interactive installations. It really blurs the line between science and art.
Art and science, usually they seem like opposites. But here they meet in the middle. I guess it's all about how you use the tools.
Exactly. Like any technology, thermography is neutral. It's the intention and the understanding behind it that matters.
That makes sense. I wonder if in the future we'll see more guidelines to help people use heat maps responsibly, kind of like nutritional labels for tech.
That would be great. Imagine a thermography label telling you how the data was collected and what it's good for and what it's not.
That would certainly help cut through the noise. Sometimes technology feels like a mysterious black box, but transparency can make a big difference.
Transparency, education, and a healthy dose of skepticism, those are probably the best safeguards. It's easy to be dazzled by colorful images.
Like moths to a flame, except the flame is a thermal camera. But seriously, do you think we'll reach a point where thermography is as common as, say, GPS?
I think we're already on the way. Smartphones can now detect temperature changes, and smart appliances use heat sensors. It's only going to get more integrated.
That's true. I guess the real mystery isn't the technology itself, but how society chooses to use it. Will it empower us, or will it be another tool for control?
That's the big question. Every innovation brings new opportunities and new risks. The key is staying informed and asking the right questions.
Speaking of questions, if you could use a thermal camera for any purpose, what would you do?
I'd probably use it to check for energy leaks in my apartment. That, or find the perfect spot for my cat to nap. She always finds the warmest place.
That's adorable. I'd love to use it for cooking. Imagine never burning a steak again. Or, on a hot day, finding the coolest spot in the park.
Now that's practical. Sometimes the best uses are the simplest. It doesn't always have to be about high-stakes security or healthcare.
True. But it's good to remember that every technology brings responsibility. Just because you can point and click doesn't mean you should interpret the results on your own.
Well said. Maybe that's the real hidden agenda, reminding us not to take things at face value, but to dig deeper.
I like that. In a world full of heat maps and hidden data, critical thinking is probably our most important tool.
Absolutely. So next time you see a rainbow-colored thermal image, just remember there's a lot more going on than meets the eye.
Wise words. And for our listeners, we hope you'll keep questioning and exploring, no matter how colorful the answers might seem.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Stay curious, stay cool or warm, and join us next time for another Mystery Unraveled.
Thanks for tuning in. And remember, every technology has its story. Don't be afraid to ask what's behind the map.